Today I'm going to do a little demo on using a jeweler saw. So here I have my saw with my makeshift fasteners because the originals got stripped out. So you have different sizes of blades. They start at, I've seen them up to 5 or 6, and then once you get down past 0, they turn into 1/0, 2/0, 3/0. That's like negatives, if you will. So they keep getting smaller from right to left. So I'm going to grab a 2/0, pretty fine little blade, using 22 gauge copper. It's really thin. So I have my shapes traced out on here, and the first thing you want to do is get your blade into the saw. So you can probably barely see that, but all the teeth are going in one direction. So you want the teeth to point towards the handle. They're angled towards the handle. Okay, so first you put it in the base, tighten it, and I tighten mine a little extra with the pliers because these new fasteners don't stay tight quite the same. So now I like to have the spacing here because this is adjustable, so where the blade just touches the other side. It's just touching this edge here. So then when you squeeze it together, like place it up against your body here and squish it together, and then you tighten this end here. Give it a little twist with the pliers, and now you should get a nice high-pitched twang if you pluck it. If it's kind of deep sound, then that means your blade is not quite tight enough, and you want to stretch this distance out a little bit so that it's making more pressure. Okay, so now you got your blade all ready, and you want to have something like burr life, and this keeps your blade cool so that it won't wear out so fast, it won't break as fast. It's good stuff. I get this from Rio Grande, but there's other brands and other types too. So you just get a little bit on there, and then we're ready to cut. Okay, so first thing you want to do, you get your blade ready, and you've got your shapes traced out. I've got a couple triangles there, and there's a circle down there. It's a pretty small little circle. So basically how you start is to place the blade on the metal, and you start at an angle. I'm angled like 45 degrees or so, and then you start and you just pull, and you'll get your cut started. And then as soon as you get started with the cut, you want to straighten out. You get vertical and just go. Try to pull the whole length of your blade so that you use the whole blade. Otherwise you'll get dull and thin in the middle, and it will break sooner than it needs to. Because obviously these tiny little blades do not last forever. So just keep going, and when you get, here's the thing that happens a lot with beginners is when it gets caught like that, like you saw, you just try to like pull too hard and put too much forward pressure on it, and you will snap the blade. Snap a bunch of them at the beginning when you're first starting out. So you want to kind of like pull back, give it no forward pressure when it gets caught, and just do it down, little jerk downward only. Got to find your own forward pressure that will give you some forward momentum without breaking your blade. Okay, so often after you make a cut, you want to pull back out and get a little bit more lubricant on there. So we go down. Now here's where we're going to go around the corner of this triangle. So what you do is you just go up and down without moving forward at all. No pressure in any direction. You just kind of up and down on it and turn as you go. And it'll cut out a little area for the blade to move around in so that you can make your turn. If it's still not ready, do a little bit more. Okay, and now we're good to go. And get that angle again like this, like a 45, a little less actually. Get that cut started, and then move back to being vertical. See that catch there again? You just give it a little jerk down, and it'll continue on through. Alright, now I've got a nice little triangle. There's a little extra piece that I'm going to get from a previous project, a little overhang. Same thing, start at an angle. Little pieces are kind of hard because if your piece tilts, if this were to tilt at all while you're cutting it, it will totally just snap your blade. So you got to just pinch really hard on the side of your jeweler's pin and try to keep it as stable as you can. Get that angle. Okay. Cut right through. There we go. Got a nice little triangle. It's going to take a smidge of filing, but it's pretty nice otherwise. Okay. And circles, pretty much the same concept. You'll get the hang of doing curves after a while. But just take it slow. If you go too fast, you'll often get off your line, and it's kind of hard to get it back. You'll have a bunch of weird edges, and then you got to do a whole lot more filing, which it's just not necessary. Oops, see that tilt there? If I was cutting, that would have snapped it. Whoop. And often pieces get dropped. So now you see I've got this little... Let's learn by example here. I should have cut that little nugget off before cutting this off the sheet, because now it's going to be pretty difficult to hold this little tiny circle flat while I cut. So this is where it would be pretty easy to snap a blade. But I did not. And now, I have a little circle. Isn't that just adorable? So that is how to use a jeweler's blade, jeweler saw. And do not store this tight like that. It will tweak your saw. It'll kind of get out of shape. You'll have to bend it back eventually. Anyway, because it does slowly start to happen. But always just undo that. I usually store my blade in my saw, the last one that I was using. Just like loose like that. And that's it.